it's a very well understood concept that at the beginning, your product is going to be buggy and it's not going to be perfect, but you're looking for that group of customers that value what you're doing so much or have such a pain point that they're willing to put up with all of the issues. And I think that once you can understand that and you've gotten to a product to a point where it can deliver on that promise and make those folks happy, that's when you can say, all right, let's start to figure out how to do this in a more repeatable way. And at that point, I brought on Rob Perez, who took us from 0 to over $1 million in revenue. And he was, the very classic 0 to 1, the perfect 0 to 1 guy. He had done early stage in the past at a company called Talent Bin that was run by Pete Kazanji. He had done the SDR role. He had run the SDR team. He had taken on sales. He had ran the sales team. And so you need somebody who is very comfortable when there's no infrastructure in place, when there's no structure, when there's no playbook, when there's no scripts, when there's really nothing, and is comfortable going in and figuring that out. And so Rob was just extremely good at that. And I think we got really fortunate to have brought him on. And so, we brought Rob on. Now, in retrospect, what didn't we have, right? We didn't have a dedicated marketing function in place. And in retrospect, that was a huge mistake because you can only scale as quickly as your pipeline. It sounds obvious, but let's just kind of put it out there. You can only scale. So your limiting factor is going to be your pipeline, how quickly you can build it, how many folks you have in it, and so on and so forth. And when you're early on, if you try to go outbound, for example, with an SDR team or with emails, and you're selling something that people aren't familiar with, your hit rate is obviously going to be low because you just, you're firing 1,000 bullets. And if you're lucky, 5 or 10 of them might be those people that completely align with your view of the future and how people should be using a product like yours. And, in our case, that they should be reviewing sales meetings and they should be coaching on them and they should be creating repeatable processes and so on and so forth. Not every sales leader thinks that way. So when you go outbound, you're going to have a low hit rate. By contrast, if you're really good at evangelizing what you're doing with the right type of marketing, content marketing and so on and so forth, you put it out there and the people that it resonates with will find it because they're searching for it or whatever, it'll resonate and then they'll come inbound. And so I think that we probably tried to do a little bit too much and we should have, in retrospect, really focused on content marketing and product marketing, use that to articulate how our best customers were using our platform, getting value out of it, educating people on everything that they're doing, build up a really efficient inbound motion, and then and only then start to focus on looking for those signals in companies that could tell you, hey, this is a sales leader or a company that is more likely than not to be interested in what you're building.